We'll take an example here of looking for an unknown side length. And again, we want to solve for this unknown value, which in this case happens to be the y value. We don't know what that y value is, and that's what we're trying to figure out. However, you'll notice that when we determined the cosine law for both an unknown side length as well as an unknown angle, uh, we had triangles that were labeled A, B, and C. And now we've got a triangle that's labeled X, Y, and Z. Okay? Now, you can simply substitute uh, X, Y, and Z into this equation, okay, into our equation for solving a side length, and it will work just fine. Okay, and in fact, we know that it's going to be a side length question because we again have the scissor pattern. Okay, we actually have two sides and a contained angle, and that will allow us to solve for that unknown side length across. Okay, but what we can know is that we could substitute in the formula, which would be y squared is equal to x squared plus z squared minus 2xz cos y. Okay, we can do that. We can just simply substitute from the triangle as it's given to us. However, some people are more comfortable relabeling the triangle as angle A, angle B, angle C, and that is perfectly fine. And so if you would like to do that, you're welcome to. Just make sure you completely fill that out. So let's say we want to relabel this triangle. And so we're going to label it as angle A, angle B, angle C. Okay? Well, that still means that this side is A. Okay, so now we're looking for side A. Over here, this is going to be our side C. And the 20 centimeters is going to represent side length B. Okay, and if we do that, then we go back to kind of a slightly more familiar a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A format. Okay, so it's perfectly okay to relabel a triangle if you're more comfortable with that. Just make sure that you're properly labeling the three angles as well as the three side lengths so that you can get that complete. Okay, so let's carry on and let's actually go through and solve for this particular problem. So in this case, we're trying to figure out unknown unknown side length A. So let's substitute in the values that we do have. So we've got A squared is equal to B squared, and B squared is 20 squared, plus C. We know that C is 25. That's squared. 20 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 20 times 25 times cos of angle A, and angle A is 48 degrees. Okay. Again, I will highlight to you that the back part, this is all multiplication. So please make sure that you are doing multiplication on that back piece. Okay. So now let's go through and simplify this. We've got a squared is equal to 400 plus 625 minus, and if I do 2 times 20 times 25 times cos 48 degrees, it's going to give me approximately 669. Okay, so I'm just going to round it to one decimal place for simplicity's sake. Then I want to simplify this again. So I've got a squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 400 plus 625, and that's 1025, minus 669 is going to give me 356. Okay. At which point I now have a squared is equal to 356. So if I want to get a all by itself, I need to do the opposite operation of squaring, because right now we've got a squared. So the opposite operation of squaring something is to take the square root, just like we did with Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to square root both sides. I'm going to take a squared, the square root of a squared is just a, and now the square root of 356 is actually going to equal approximately 18.9. And this is in centimeters, so we'll record that as centimeters. Okay. So again, really one of the highlights here is that you can change the name of the triangle if you are more comfortable doing that. You're welcome to relabel it as triangle ABC, just so long as you correctly label the three angles and the three side lengths and know which piece you're actually trying to solve for, and that's perfectly fine.